Creator, we thank you for everything good. We thank you for friends and family. We thank you for baskets, for the pine basket, pine needle basket, for the cane basket. Thank you again, Creator. It will be good.
It's just for us to document this. You know, this is yet another way, it's a modern way for us to pass this down. And we need to use these tools as much as we can. So we're glad to have those. Because this is an art form that, you know, if we don't keep it alive, we could lose it.
Our last speaker passed away 1949. His name is Sister Yushiko. We have him included in here. That's a little bit about
Ima Donna Piri Tisa, and along with my daughter, we're the Language and Cultural Lifeways instructors for the program here. The basket at top was made by Anime Gino, and then the other one at Biloxi basket is at Smithsonian. And then we have on the table there, that's a Biloxi basket, that's Alice Picot. And there are some times when Alice Picot and Coushatta, I'm waiting for some young ladies to call me back. They're interested in knowing some more about Alice Picot. What we know, we can tell them. So we have inside Miss Lula Cryer. She's deceased now, but she had her two daughters, Opal and Pauline Hara, and they learned from her. She taught herself, that's what she said, she did. She taught herself how to do. She was an orphan, and she was raised by a white family, as she says, and she taught herself to do baskets. And she said not one alike, we're all different. And then Anime, she would sit at the old museum and she would teach people, she would demonstrate. And she had orders from all over the world. And then my kid, my husband, my kids and I, we called Mama Rosie. And though she had one eye, she could still make the baskets. And I had a very spiritual experience, Mama Rosie, because when she passed away, I went near where she lay, and I couldn't move for a while there. And then I knew that later on, when I'd gone home, that I was given the gift of knowing, but it's been a while since I've woven basket. And then Mr. Alejos, he's still living, that's Michael's dad. He's very much a tribal traditionalist and artisan. We have Clementine Broussard there, historic, very instrumental in our tribe. And then Alice Picot, that's Alice Picot, it's a social Yushiko, and Cora Shiki is Alice Picot. We have the basket there. So we have documentation, that's how we know something about cane basket, and it's in the Tunica text, it's a social, and also in the dictionary we know that it's very important, the basket, because basket making, because of all the words that were documented by Mary House from Satoshi Shikon. So when you have something, kind of summary there, I think the most important thing though is the words before the summary. And Norma always had personal conversations and talk in a low voice and tell what to do. And I across this. She had said this in many ways, but we came across this in Northwestern Hope Life Center site. It said, for many years we've had many people who learned to do these things. This is no longer the case, and now it is necessary that we be careful that we do not lose these things of our ways. Just like my grandmother said that if I would be happy if I married Indian, and sure enough, but just like the ways, and we asked, well, why the young generation, why? Well, there's the answer there, to hold on, to desperately hold on to all that we have. And so, I wanted, if John wouldn't mind, my sister-in-law Joanne and my husband, we had some memories, and one of mine is, I'm going to say that when we lived in New Orleans prior to Katrina, I had a bag of pine needles because Miss Lula, she gave me a bag of pine needles. I didn't know she was going to pass away. I didn't know she was sick, nothing like that. But she said she gave it to me because I was who I was. I was Donna, and she wanted to give it to me. And I had pine needle raffia in our house, plenty in a bag. It was, and of course it was washed away, but not the knowing, and not the all the conversations and stories of people who've gone before us. So, okay. And
our grandmother tried to show us how to weave needle baskets. And being kids, we were more interested in other things. So at this point, I know some basics, but as far as like actually producing a basket, it would take me tremendous time to do it. But I think really is something that we need to bring back for our kids and our future generations. And my daughter is, and my wife and my son, they've learned some of this from our cousin who was prior, and before she passed away, and Olga continues to be part of our lives in that what we learned from we will carry that with us forever, and hopefully our kids will continue with their kids, and their kids will go on, future generations. So, do you want to say something, girl? No, she's shy right now. But I think this is a fine program that the tribe has, and I'm quite sure that your tribes have the same type of program going on, and don't let any discouragement stop you from doing this. I tell God this with all the time. Even if you get one person to go and sit down and learn this, you've made a valuable stride in progressing. Because that's all it takes. That one person to tell another, then it becomes 2, 4, 6, and it just multiplies. Right now, that's what we're finding with our tribe. We started small, and now they're doing it with the kids, with the language, and the kids are enjoying it. They're going home and telling their parents, teaching their parents about the language and the culture, which is a good thing. So now we're getting that identity, and that's what I feel that we're so happy about, and I'm proud to say that things are going good. And hopefully in the future, we'll have a tribe speaking our language, so that we can have the outside say, well, what are they saying? I think they're talking about me. But really, it's a homecoming of sorts for our tribe to have this revival. And that's the way I feel about it now. But thank you.
And one of the tribes that really kind of just stood out in my mind was Coushatta, because they have Camp Coushatta, which is for the children, and to learn. And I was just so impressed with that. And maybe one day we might have a Camp Tunica-Biloxi. But it's really you know, that these traditions be passed along. And, you know, I'm getting on there in age, and it's what my grandmother and my aunts and all try to pass on. Just I wish I had paid more attention, because once they're gone, that's it. You can't go back and retrace again. So I just applaud y'all for Camp Coushatta.
I had just one more thing to say. This event, she's very busy, so she forgot I had a basket that I was making during a little wall basket, and I still have it. It passed through Hurricane Katrina, and I wanted to show everyone, but it looked like what happened to it, it aged. Many of the baskets I lost, and I said some were Coushatta baskets. I actually had a bread basket, and the time that Claude was living with Rosaline, they were together. I had a basket there. I donated, had a little tag and made it, but of course I lost it, but the memory is still there. And one hurricane, actually, I made a basket, and then this last, the final one that brought us back to the home base, well, the basket passed through, and all the ones we had. Some things we saved, some not. And we have some things that we'll show later on that are part of our family collection, and we kept.
Here we're very excited to come to this workshop, and I really appreciate all the ladies for coming in. But the longleaf pine needle basket is a huge tradition in the Coushatta tribe, and so is the cane basket. But very few people make the cane basket nowadays in our tribe. But like I think it was Marta that was, or Marjorie that was saying this morning, the basket is a huge economic impact in the tribe back in the 50s, 60s. Even till now, it's always been an economic delivery to each individual that makes the baskets. So, and it still does. So, but today, it's you can see more of the artwork through the baskets. You can see like some of the stitching is very different for each individual. I've learned from working in the Heritage Department that you can actually look at a basket and know like what family made it. So that's something I've learned, and I'm very appreciative of the art and of the craft, and very thankful to be here.
I was adopted into the Alabama-Coushatta tribe, and I enjoy making baskets and beadwork and whatever Sharon calls me to do for the cultures and languages and beadwork and basket work. That's what I do. And I learned how to make baskets from my mother. These are two of my sisters, Myrna and Margie. And Myrna is the baby, and she was Mama's baby. And she learned how to make baskets when she was a little girl. And Margie, she learned at a younger age. And I don't know how old she was, but she had already told you about how old. And me, I tried to learn, but when we had company, there was always coffee on the stove. When company comes around, say, Joyce, go make coffee. And that's what we did. That's what I did. And then by the time when I sat down to try to make baskets, it was like dinner time, supper time. And he said, start the stove. That was a wood stove. But anyway, I learned how to cook. She taught me how to cook. The first thing I did learn was how to make cornbread, and from then on, I was cooking while the others was making baskets. But maybe I was about 10 or 11 years old, that's when I started learning how to make baskets. And I really enjoy it every day. When I work on fine needle baskets, you improve or you learn something new as you work along every day on the baskets. And then we learn how to pick pine needles out in the forest. And at that time, there was no posted mark where you are free to go in and out and pick pine needles. But now it's posted and it's rough to get pine needles. And back in Texas, there's a cultural committee that goes out and picks pine needles for us, and then they give it to us, and then they furnish the raffia. And we dry them in the shade, that it turns greenish, and then when we dry them in the sun, it turns brown, just like that other guy that showed the brown pine leaves. So I learned to make round baskets first and with no lid, and then later on I learned how to make the lid along with it. But it depends on your hands and your needles, the way you handle it, and the thickness of the pick that you do on coiling on the baskets. Make different kinds of baskets, round baskets, wall baskets, effigies, and also I pick pine cone petals for the square leaves by the pine tree. That's what I pick, breed, and then each petal is sewn on like turkey, armadillo that has rough scales. So that's what I sewed on. Each petal is sewn on. And I also would pick, I pick small pine cones about this big and decorate it on different baskets. It depends on how the basket is, and it depends on you what you can decorate it with. And then a large pine cone petals, you do it on the large baskets. And then I pick the smallest pine cones and sew it on small pine baskets, round baskets. Just like the one Adrian has, the small basket that she had, that's what I decorated on the small pine cones. But back on the reservation, every year the youth learns how to make baskets or beadwork. But one year I taught the youth, male and female, for 1 week. A person that wants to learn picks up really easy if they're enthused in making something. But if a person is not enthused in making baskets, it's hard to work with. You can tell by just looking at the person when you're in a class. But on the youth, they gave me 1 week to work with them. And they were all kind of rowdy the first day, but then they all started picking up what you tell them, and then they gave me like 4 hours a day during the week. And I work with them and then show them how to start. And I made a little info on how to start the most important thing that they need to know when they start making baskets. So I did that, and then for the week, I expected them to finish 1 basket. A small one or a pencil holder. That was the easiest one for them to learn, so that's what I did. And each one finished. But two of the guys wanted to make a lid within that week. I said, you're going to have to work night, no ball game, no TV. And they said, for real? I said, yes, sir, for real. No playing around. If you want to finish by Friday afternoon, by noon, so you can have the lid. And they did. They worked hard. And they have learned. And each one of them, I have an album of who I teach, but I didn't bring all that. And I have, for the adults, I teach the same thing every year, two times a year, and only 3 people that has learned, and one of them is making quite a bit. And he's got 7 baskets here and there, and then one of them, he works on it in his spare time, but he's also just working out, so he's not doing that much. But one of them he'd be walking around sewing baskets everywhere, even though he was working at the 4 West building with the other kids, with the other children. But he'd be walking and sewing and teaching other students different things. But he finished, he worked at it. And then I said, he was fishing, said some baskets. I said, since you learned something from me, I would like to have a basket to keep it in my shelf. I said, okay, I'm going to work on it when I get home tonight. And I said, okay, I'll be waiting for it. But you know, he died that morning. And it really did hurt me. But you know, his wife said the basket that he was working on and the pioneer still sitting there working. But he was a good basket maker too. But there's maybe 1 or 2 ladies that can do it, but other jobs is more, they can get away from it. So I enjoy teaching them, and I have just a few. I've been teaching them way back in, 85, something like that, 85 or 90, in homes, different homes, and different buildings that they assigned for me to do. So I had like about 15 students every time I had classes. So I enjoy making baskets. I really thoroughly enjoy baskets now. Wish everybody would learn to pick up the work. Even the beadwork. Those are important too. It means everything. baskets are everything. Even if we have it's about the court, tribal court. They have a tribal court, and they have a basket sitting on in the middle of the table, surrounded by the judges and all the other. And they use it for peacemaker. That's a peacemaker. But when you make a basket and put the lid on, you close something in it. And the court building, they put all the problems into that basket and close it. But when the next meeting comes up, they open that and let it all out. So that's what one of the basket means to the tribal court. So the basket means a lot of things for us. I don't know what I've left, but this is about all I can say for right now.
And we make different baskets like pine needles. We make it into pine needle baskets, and we make it into bahia grass that you don't cut the grass out of, and then they make sage grass, and or even a sweetgrass basket. Those are the three types of material that we use with raffia. And we dyed the raffia to make it into different decorations, designs, or diagram, like flowers, or with animal effigy baskets and all that. All different types.
They made baskets in the old days to trade for food instead of selling it for money. My grandmother made river cane baskets before they started making baskets, pine needle baskets. They traded it for food, and nowadays they just sell them for decorations. And
I prefer color just because I like the way it looks on the natural background. I do natural baskets as well, probably not as much as color. I just love for mine to have more color. And also it kind of signals me away from everybody else. Let's see, our tribe is about 500 or so members. We're state recognized at the time. I think the technique I use with my straw, I live closer to the Coushatta National Forest, and I get a permit from there. They allow me to go out in the forest and gather. I usually gather in the fall. Matter of fact, it's soon will be time for me to go gather. I gather straw, and I also gather the long leaf pine cones. They're really, really huge, because I use that in a lot of my design work. As well as I also gather smaller pine cones, because I use the smaller ones also to incorporate with my larger ones when I'm doing effigies or just the extra design basket. I'll dye the